Our sports anchor Benjamin Lashuru joins me now on the latest about the national football team. Benji, good afternoon to you. On the issue of qualifiers, we know Nzeki out because of that failing to qualify. There was a moment there when Broos was pretty much placed in the corner, one of the journalists saying to him, how can you already position the football team for failure by saying that don't be too upset if we don't qualify for the World Cup in 2022. But then he comes back and says, but if we don't qualify in 2023, you can kill me. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think, Tammy, it was the sort of mandate that Hugo Broos already got from his bosses at SAFA. We played a clip earlier on today with the president of the association. I had a chat with him last week on Friday, Dr. Jenny Jordan, and he said, I quizzed him about what Hugo Broos has to do. He said he has to qualify for the 2023 AFCON, which is the next one after the one that we failed to qualify for. That will be in Ivory Coast. And the 2026 World Cup, which will be in the USA, Mexico, and Canada, joint hosting of that tournament. But the 2022 one, he says, well, we'll be happy. This is the president. We'll be happy if he qualifies for the 2022 World Cup. So for me, I got a sense that it's not a requirement. It's not something that he absolutely has to do, and the association will read him the riot act if he doesn't. They're just going to be happy if he does. If he doesn't, then okay, we're just looking forward to the 2023 AFCON. So I think that's where he picked up that energy. And I mean, if that's what your bosses want, then that's it.
They really are giving him some time to settle down, to get to know his players, as well as devise a strategy which will hopefully be a winning strategy for the team. So what has he highlighted as his priorities?
One of the things that Bafana Bafana has been not really criticized for, but when you look at the team, you notice that they don't have confidence. It's a team that doesn't trust itself. The players don't trust themselves. And perhaps we're also culpable as South Africans in a lot of that, because Bafana, we have two extremes when it comes to Bafana Bafana. They win one game, they beat Egypt once, and we hail them as these heroes that are world beaters. And we think Bafana Bafana can do absolutely everything. And then they lose and fail to qualify for a tournament, and we just come down at them. A lot of times deservedly, but I think we're culpable in the way the team feels already when stepping onto the pitch. And the coach says he will be working on that. One of the first things that he has to do is to work on the team's mentality, to say, okay, you can step onto the pitch with any big nation on the African continent and beat them. There's no need for you to feel like I'm a minnow in a team that you're not.
As you say this, I'm reminded of William Shakespeare in one of his plays, if I'm not mistaken, where he writes that love is not love which alters when it alteration finds.
Okay, you've lost me, but...
well, basically, that the South African soccer-loving fraternity is very fickle. There's a very low sense of loyalty. Yeah. So when there's a reason to not love and not support, we're very quick to go there. So we don't really back our team all of the way. But talk to us about the assistance that he is going to have and how he's going to structure his core team of support.
Well, he mentioned that he's going to be coming with his own assistant coach from Belgium. I think we'll get used to the name. We'll learn the name and get used to it with time. But there's another assistant coach. He's going to have two, another one from here in South Africa. And I think that's very important because the coach knows nothing about South African football. He comes in at a time when the league is about to end, about 3-4 games for a lot of the teams that are in the league that are left now. So he doesn't have a lot of time to see what is happening. There's going to be off-season in June and July. Season starts in August. A few games, then he has to play. So he does not have a lot of games to see what is happening. So an assistant coach from South Africa will be very, very important. Someone who's experienced, someone who knows what they're doing. And we look forward to seeing who that person is. Probably would even be David Notwane, who's the under-23 coach, the Olympic team. They're going to the Olympics, and he says he will not be taking over the Olympic team. David Notwane will carry on as the coach who qualified the team for the Tokyo Olympics.
And he did mention as well that he has been through the first stage of his vaccination process, so he will be leaving the country to complete his second dose of the vaccine.
You know, that was very interesting for me. When he started, already he mentioned that he will not be staying for now. He's going to be leaving, and he will watch Bafana's June friendly games, but he doesn't need to be in the country for that. I mentioned the last time when the coach was announced that there's a very nasty habit by European coaches who get appointed and go and stay in Europe while they coach South African or African nations. I just hope that Hugo Broos knows that his job is here and he's going to stay here and watch the league here and, you know, select players based on his knowledge and not go stay in Belgium, depend on an assistant coach and just watch games online. That's not going to work.
Well, it certainly isn't the sense that I got from that particular briefing. I think he perhaps intentionally put that out there to say, I'm going, but it's for this reason, a very good reason, and I'll be right back. But Benji, thank you very much for that debriefing there, as we've just heard the newly appointed Bafana Bafana coach addressing the media for the first time and also outlining his plans.